He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know.
Kuno knows all kinds of shit. Kuno's not a snitch, that's all. Trying to make probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. You heard Kuno? Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in... I don't know. Some fucking... Remember Night City, pigfuck? Kuno...
What the fuck, Kuno?
Yeah. Kuno didn't...
Thanks, Kuno. That's one name you can now cross off the list.
Just a couple of pigs...
Yeah, you...
Your test...
Get lost,
Kuno doesn't...
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you? The little boy had the good on his promise. To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me. Pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'd make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. It's a minor nuisance. It's all good.
He thinks, not yet. Better to get this business out of the way. Sweeter then.
I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia. I guess you won't be collecting them all then. That's less work for you at least. Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them.
Nice and balanced.
Smart choice. Good luck if you go for those. No problem.
He is sincere. Take the legal documents out of the envelope.
I'm no property lawyer, but...
The youth center cuts into the ocean like the back. There is no loophole. The simple truth is, the current
I should have seen it. Evrard probably has eyes on us, but we could try to get other people to sign this.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hacked. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate, due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases. Undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. That's a lot. This kind of caseload would explain your solved cases tally on the watermark. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. That's okay. We all do, sooner or later.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. You like this grimy murdering, don't you? Wish there was one in there about a drug den. You love those. Gets the blood pumping. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does. It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one, the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. The tasks you've completed flow out of the pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. And a fuck you to you too. That last things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of...
No, actually. Any ideas? Okay. It's a good name, but it has one problem. This case has nothing to do with the setting sun. At all. It has nothing to do with that, so Something more concrete, perhaps? Do you have something...
Usual is book.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, the next world mural. Why yes, your precinct, every last alphanumeric Harrier Dubois, HDB. Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden is still not strange. Why does it make you so angry? In the then RIP 3. The topmost are misconduct. A dozen, color of the iris. These are all in a prince. The rest of the stinking set, the acidics, you know, like the bits they put into. If you knew it was dunked in the toilet before getting torturing your own note. Yeah, turns out your note. The gnarled hawthorn tree on rude. The locusts aren't doing all too well, but there's still. Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere. Yet someone used to live here, laugh here. Thought it was a good idea to build a swing, even.
In this yard? Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur, for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago. A black bloc, a part of the city left unrenovated after the war, or one that has fallen to gang violence, or has become inhospitable. Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drunks. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house. Yes, and you picked it up as part of the Jamrock Shuffle.
It's not meant as nagging, just an observation.
We should move. I don't think we will solve the murder with forays into the urban hinterland, at least in this phase of the investigation.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope I can wash it for you.
Hell yeah. No, we must run around.
I could use a breather.
Well, hand it over then, and I must say,
take the legal documents out of the envelope. You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month, the pen is shaking in your hand. The line gets even shakier and no, it's just...
Our tenant, the policeman. Eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all this scribble. Tell me what it says. Huh, I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is gonna be a street. Have you asked Lillian about this?
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down, bastards.
You think she really needs more of that after a man died at sea? What if I told you it is actually possible to go on a date sober? Before recorded history, men and women were able to do simple, very primitive things together sober. Acknowledge the situation and keep it basic.
I have, and I don't really. Just a walk? I don't know, officer. I would not have taken you for an innocent perambulator. Where would this walk take us, officer?
Officer, I thought we had a walk of our own in mind. One that results in a solved murder investigation.
Oh no, you come with us. Seriously, you need to understand that nothing is going to happen. We're just walking. That's it. Understood?
Having the lieutenant along is a fail-safe measure against any possible funny business.
Let's call it a walk. I'll join you if the ma'am insists.
I'm really sorry.
I do, yes. Stroll on the beach sounds nice, doesn't it? All right, I'll see the kids haven't killed each other and we'll meet at Land's End in 15 minutes?
She doesn't wait for an answer. You better get ready. Old door.
It's a minute, the washerwoman.
The locusts aren't doing all too well, but they're still in there. The woman gazes steadily at the waves. A sudden gust picks up her dark hair and lets it fall again, tousled, wild. She brushes a few stray locks from her eyes, and only then spots you approaching.
Aye. So here you are. Mid-noon and the rain is ice cold as always. And know that you're not the first guy to bring a girl to Land's End. This is what the locals call a make-out spot. That is not going to happen here today. I just want to make that clear, Dimples.
Her thoughts are still elsewhere, with distances across the water, and with the water itself. Keeping a tactful distance, the lieutenant takes out his notebook, demonstrating complete disinterest in your date. Don't be fooled. He's watching you to make sure you don't act unprofessionally.
Drinking men aren't known for keeping their appointments. So this is what this is. Responsible. Well, maybe it is. Maybe you'll have a revelation and crack whatever you're on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves now.
Her laughter is throaty and warm. It rhymes with the sunlit waves and the cries of the gulls. She nods to you, a playful glint in her eyes.
Here it comes.
So fast as to make it seem like the weather turns at her command.
Me? No. Just grew up on the sea. Know which way the wind's blowing and all. Knew the weather'd clear up once we got here. Otherwise, it would have been a less pleasant stroll, nay? It's a common Revacholian expression. Means drinking yourself to death. And what about you? Keeping the name? Well then, Harry.
The sun reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay is mesmerizing. Your mind clears for a moment as your senses take it all in. Not just the glass skyscrapers, fragile looking in the shimmering air. River Esperance flowing into the bay.
Isn't it strange for this all-powerful thing, the sun, to be so generous towards us? You know, the best time to go out fishing is usually towards sunset, when the water is warmer.
The sun also falls on the Capeside tenements and war-torn ruins. An old sea fortress juts out, seemingly impervious to the sheen cast over everything else, shaking you out of your reverie. The sun does little for the dead, and those hopelessly lost in their own minds, or people living in desert climates with sparse vegetation and little drinking water.
Oh, that was a bit of pride and a bit of superstition. Now you're just nitpicking. But I concede, maybe desert people sometimes disagree.
There's salt in the air, and the cries of the gulls and the skuas, grit of the sand and the green glint of broken bottles. But still your gaze always returns to the dazzling streaks of light, wherever they may be reflected, their opulence.
It's bringing us spring, summer. It's entirely on our side, no matter what we do or who we are, for absolutely no reason. It's unlike no other powerful being, certainly no powerful organisation or government. How can that be? I guess we wouldn't really be here if that thing wasn't on our team.
You would be incinerated, or worse.
These aren't real fishhooks, silly. They're earrings shaped to look like fishhooks. A drunk called Rosemary brought them to me. I kept them.
She's right. They're made mostly of plastic. A cheap novelty gift you can buy from a flower shop or a kiosk. The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the sunlit coast across the water.
Thank you. I'm half Ubi. My mother was from Ubi Sunt. Not a lot of sun there, I hear, though I've never been.
The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the sunlit coast across.
It's enough that my fish goes there. 50 real a piece they ask for spring cod.
Out on the terrace of La Fru de Fond, a hip business lunch spot in downtown La Delta, glasses clink over a spread of oysters. Someone can't decide what to eat. Someone recommends a ceviche. Someone shields her eyes, trying to see across the bay.
Good one. I'm gonna go with the rope.
She thinks it was a riddle. She must not even know of that business. Better that way. Say what? Something interesting? Impossible.
Thank you. Out there on the other planet, the sea, you start seeing things in a strange light. I'm glad I got to share it. The wind's gonna pick up soon, and I have to go, but... Have this. The sun's good, but it doesn't stick things. I've no use for it anymore. No. Men around here are too drunk to pose a threat to me.
The lieutenant looks at the sword with distrust in his eyes. Do not bring it into a gunfight, he thinks. Please understand, it's merely ceremonial.
Doubt it. But thank you for the company.
This is as far as it goes with her. You'd need to put a year between you and your last drink for anything more.
Farewell.
Yes?
Yes, what is it?
Everything disappears. You are draped in silence like a drowning man staring into his puny little headspace. And then the pressure changes. It feels like flying on an aerostatic, or when your ears pop, or like a subtle difference in the atmosphere, a weather change hanging in the air. What if the sound you're looking for is too low for you to hear it?
A better sound system? Alright, but where would we get one?
Suddenly, a rhythmic beat.
They should really allocate some renovation funds to this place.
No. What they really should do is shut down the disco men for You mean the speed freaks? Of course, the speed freaks. They have a fantastic sound system. And you think they would help me? I guess I could live through a week or two of peaceful coexistence.
Brilliant negotiating there, Detective. As always.
Sure. Let me know how it goes. Thanks.
Hello again. My associates? Sorry. Don't know what makes...
Hi again. So, how are things going? Yes? What's the deal? We are grateful, Copman. You're an augury of a new era of the Nordic dance music. That's fine. We can manage. We appreciate it. It's going to take us a bit to move our stuff inside. A couple of hours, maybe.
You see, a slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Good evening. Sure. What? But of course.
The The locusts aren't doing all too. Morel's trapped the locusts, dazed from being transported.
Good. Now that's done. When do you don't answer that?
He doesn't want to. But if there is one more cryptozoological... A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual. Even in a general, average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim affairs. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days. The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
Unable to piece together the big picture just now. There's a hole. The scattering of bullet holes looks like one giant smiling mouth, smiling its deadly smile.
Yeah, it's all set up, man. Can you already imagine 1,000 people in here? 10,000! Ecstatic vibrations, totally transcendent. And I've finished setting up the new compressor too. Now the only thing left to do is the name of the club. Will you do the honours, detective?
How about something simple? Like the club?
Too modern and too ironic. We don't want ironic, we want real. Real and true and beautiful, like a morning after the rave. The name. Everything I managed to come up with sounds just wrong.
Andre's overthinking it.
Yes, you should do it, detective. Noid's right. You've helped us so much.
I don't.
Good. We have too many opinions anyway. Yakukata! Yakukata! The place to be!
Yeko Qatar, the zone of ecological catastrophe. That's too morbid, eh? Got anything else?
Hardcore! Hardcore to the nega! No, It has to be bigger than hardcore. Yes, it has to be even bigger than hardcore to the mega. It has to be bigger than the scene.
The amnesia.
Like the... I can't...
It's not amnesia, guys.
I wouldn't build it.
An underground place with no name? Sounds like something the Crabman would say.
We're not going with anything the crab...
Why not? The Crabman has ideas.
I don't care.
You have? Well, what's the name?
Like that DeLorean word for the world, you mean? Elysium.
But Disco Elysium? Isn't it wacky? Disco's kind of gone, isn't it?
The past is the future, but the future is dead. No, it's beautiful. Beautiful and brave. Like we want it to be.
And short. And memorable.
It's settled then. Everyone welcome to Disco Elysium.
Andre breaks into frenzied dance-like motion to celebrate the name. Someone turns up the beat. You should go with the flow. Join in on the experience. It feels good. It feels right. But what is this? What is this thing that Andre is doing with his limbs?
I'm dancing. Yes, my man.
Audio waves thump against your ribcage. The speaker setup makes everything sound much better. But there's a noticeable lack of something. You close your eyes and dream of the shapes your body should form to bring this strange music into life. For now, such ferocity of motion is beyond you.
But just imagine the moves you could pull to this futuristic beat.
Puts a grin on your face just to think about it. Even salvation.
It's to express...
Is that a bald spot? It's...
All because I'm balding, yes. I want to fuse the remains. I want to show my... Not 20. Yes, it is, man. Goodbye, officer.
You got us in, cop. I can't believe you got us.
With wonder in his sharp eyes.
Between you and me, I don't know if you've noticed this about me. I'm a little suspicious.
Yes, you really came through for the hardcore underground. How come?
Andre is busy cutting some slightly less lame, but still quite ungainly shapes on the church floor, sweating profusely. Estelle using her contact mic to listen to a tree underwater. The one with the large head is blasting the dance track on repeat, while the stained glass window behind him is rattling from the bass. Sire, the tent. 'Twas a security risk. And in here, sanctuary. 'Twas only noble of you.
Okay.
What he means is, you're right. I do not understand. Do whatever you have to do to...
You sure that's a good idea?
Come on, Noid. I think we owe him.
Estelle's right. He's one of us now.
Guess it would be pretty soft-core for me to say no, wouldn't it? Yeah, all right. But if you're going to sync up with them, you're gonna need a serious wave generator of your own. You understand what I'm saying? Not likely. Scoped that spot a while back. It's short-wave stuff, mostly commercial. Plus, it's all rusted out.
Build it ourselves! We built this nightclub, we can build anything!
Yeah, maybe. Tech-wise, radio's not the spookiest thing around. Our part's finding an antenna big enough to align with those mega low frequencies.
An antenna hardcore enough to shake the whole world!
Maybe not that big, but pretty big. It's a miracle of carpentry. Dead bodies carved into total shapes. Now it can be something more. That's right. The first settlers built it, plus 6 more like it, on the coast here. Was one of the first things they did. Must have been really scared of something, but I understand. Alone on an uninhabited archipelago, forced to face themselves and nature. Pre-industrial quantities of solitude. The sea, perhaps something more fundamental.
He means something paranatural. He must...
I would want to build a safe place for myself and my own as well. A cop who's into building critique. Okay then, this is folk DeLoreanism, lawmongerer. It's a subset of early DeLorean architecture. Total. Everything between an ancient concrete cathedral and a glass cube is DeLoreanism. This is just an homespun version of it. Folksy stuff. Early mass production. They made thousands like this. Does that help you out? Like that woman there. Vertical, thin, white. A false image of grandeur. The source of the system is up there. You're at the bottom. They really dug that power vertical. Like to show off large and intricate structures. Arches, spires. Put you down with them. They were really into painting everything white too. Virginal shit, you know. Marriage shit. Virtue and tyranny. Stands to reason it used to be white on the outside. Before the sea wind took all the paint off.
Slowly, peeled by the wind, your skin crawls from the sensation as you look around.
Dead bodies are perennial plants. Sigma functions have left this place. It's a good thing we came along. The spiritual collapse has been total. I saw some piglets suckling their dead mother. Have you heard this one, cop man? After a short while, they shuddered and went away. They had sensed that she could no longer see them and that she wasn't like them anymore. What they loved in their mother weren't her body, but whatever it was that made her body live. End of quote. This is an high-quality carcass. The power of anodic beats and hard bass is needed to reanimate it. A Sarais man who lived a long time ago, an ancient hardcore brother. A 3,000-year-old tyrannical regime of history, built and maintained by hundreds of generations of self-appointed intellectuals. It's false core. I only said unity. One word. Figures of authority always misquote you. Andre doesn't care about the Ecclesiastes. He just wants the operation to run smoothly. And Egg is a demi-beast. You shouldn't listen to what people say. You should but were you wrong? The founding party is okay with everything. Look around. They don't have enough love for the human crew to oppose anything anymore. We're on our own.
That's still a lie. Reassert yourself.
Well...
Noid, man! Mellow out! Stop aggroing the law!
I'm sorry. Anodic dance music.
You know what this kind of stuff goes well with.
Only a little. It's a necessity. All large human gatherings are narcotic. It's just the way of the spinal cord.
There is a difference between narcotics and group elation.
The supercharged humanism that the innocentric system has been feeding us on giant city squares, that's not a drug. The sugar and wheat it feeds us is healthy.
Forget it. It would become an imbecilic discussion. You two continue. It's more hardcore that way.
He does not feel left out. In fact, he probably just wanted to say hardcore.
I don't. Fucker giving me the evil eye. I didn't know it was in here. We have to get rid of it. Dismantle it. Can't dance with a giant mass murderer looking at ya. Not a good look for the club.
Mellow, man, mellow. No one's a mass murderer. This is a house of love.
Mass murder on the floor!
The world spirit does not have a body. It has organs. This Arno van Eyck is an organ. The carpentry and glass cutting that built this house are also organs. Okay. Hard to say, cop man. Signs in here are distinctly wild. Gonna take a while before everything's properly synced. I did get to talk to the crab man though. Anyway, he's been giving me kind of a psychic rundown of this place. Dude's seen some crazy shit, but he's actually a lot like us. Have you been listening to what Egg's been saying? Love is all. The man picks up on stuff, and he knows a lot about. Good thing you didn't squash him. They're hardcore. They're just clothes. It's just a style, you know, normal up.
This is easy. Antennas are basically the young man looks straight.
Not likely to work. Nah, it won't be. There can't be. The crabman's been lurking here. Not like an encasement, like this is some old... I don't know, it'll be...
The wood creaks as a gale blows.
No. It's pretty Nordic music will... And if it can't... Seems to be the trend around here, doesn't it? Like a concentric ring spreading out. And that is what caused the communards to fail in defending the beachhead. Yeah, a lot of failure. I don't know. Maybe you can figure things out, Cop Man. I think we got on a good level. Suspicious people are esoteric people. We don't go around spilling everything to Johnny Law. They don't call me Noid for nothing. It took us setting out for the... It's short for paranoid. It'd be easier to list stuff I'm not suspicious of. I'm not suspicious of sound and colour. Mechanics and chemistry also have a trueness about them. Most anything else deceives. Wants to steal your life away.
This is a good, dangerous line of questioning. You should prod him on.
I don't have a top 10 list of things I'm most suspicious of, but if I had one, the left-right complex would be number 1. Number 2 would be their sole accomplishment, the pig-wheat paradigm. Mental illness is a term the powers use to homogenise people. I think I don't reach mental illness. I am merely politically ill, a suspicious element. I prefer not to. Both ask the wrong questions. Any spark of light from either one is accidental. Their combined movement's only concern is producing enough pig and wheat for everyone. The end goal of humanity. The original mistake was assuming that words have more being than bodies. That's what led us astray, far from our true lives.
Whatever this true life is, you feel it's the real centerpiece of this mythology. His eyes flicker.
But life is true if it's free from fear, and in turn beats and bright lights to shatter falsehoods.
Just like that. The speed, the young man is dead serious about this.
Many non-Occidental cultures share a beat at their art. Thus, they are closer to true, hardcore life. There's just never been enough of them, and they had to rely on some extremely basic percussion. Utmost dedication, thoughts from the spinal cord, is a potent superlative as well. Egghead usually has a better concept of the hardcore. He just really likes saying hardcore.
Hardcore!
Maybe you're being too specific about it. Try consulting with your spinal cord. Oh yeah, sure thing.
Aggressive, monotonous, but also somehow sacred, primitive, yet futuristic, like a machine man. Nothing exists but the here and now. All are one purpose. All you've managed is a list.
Yes, what is it? What? What did you say? I can't hear you! The music is too loud! Oh, the project! It's not going well! There's that guy! I need him to plug a 3.5 cable in. He doesn't listen to me. He only ever seems to care about hardcore. Thanks. Maybe you can get through his magic rhymes. Let me know how it goes.
DeLorean Church, the place to be! Make some noise, my church people!
Vibrations thump through your blue soul. The music sounds much better in the church. A hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane, tangled in. He stands on stage behind a table, nodding along to the music and wave. The other real deck is empty. Cables run hither and thither. On one side you see an auxiliary line.
To the mega! Yeah! Oh, she uses 3.5. Yeah. The auxiliary lining is.
Oh no, we're going to.
Don't worry, I have an adapt. Hang on. This is a 4.
Great! Someone.
Everybody, the honor will be back. But yeah, the first page.
Yes, what is it? Okay, but think you can ask him to turn the.
Maximum! Maximum is.
I know.
Pump it to the bricks!
See? He pumps it to the Heartmaster. It's hope because I'm afraid that something might happen. It's an unknown phenomenon. We can always turn it back up if there's a need.
Can't turn down the hardcore!
Of course it is.
Yeah! Permanent enlightenment! Ray of sound!
Never mind then. Let's get on with our project. I'm going to unmute the speakers.
Egghead pumps his hand up in the air, waiting.
Born ready.
Ready.
I'm ready if you two are detectives.
The lieutenant nods stoically. Suddenly, your palms are sweaty. There's tightness in your chest. Anxiety.
What?
5, 4, 2, 1. Mute disengaged.
No wind outside. No waves. No floorboards. The woman looks around. In the silence, you see dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker vibrates in the air and then stops. Plasterwork begins to crumble down the walls. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your spine. It's a song inside you, not in the speakers, not in the room. A great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly, it builds until the air around you starts to... It's out there now, in the world, made manifest. It will devour everything. The floorboards, the glass, the streets and the people. Nothing will remain.
Guys, what's going on?
It's getting louder.
In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling.
Hosiana! Mother of Mega!
In his mind, a tidal wave approaching from afar, swallowing entire coastlines on its way. Salvation. He's peaking, the worst high he's ever been on.
The beauty and the beat! The future of dance! Planetary!
No, Egg! It's the window!
In the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside, cautiously, his eyes searching for a possible evacuation route.
The window is going to come down. No, the roof!
Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars in the...
Come down to earth! Love!
Below it, all the bass grows, like the jaws of a giant compressor gnawing on metal and wood. It does not sound benevolent at all.
That's it. I'm muting it.
Beautiful car! Beautiful life!
Shit! It doesn't stop. A seal? Have you? Yes, I've turned it off.
The mic is nothing. This has nothing to do with the mic.
Andre, pull the compressor!
Fuck! I can't shut it up. The signal's passed. It's not in here. It's...
In the mixing desk now, building into a positive feedback loop. This is it. A great roar. The vault, but then it stops. Totally and utterly. As if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everybody is staring at Egghead, holding a dangling cable in his hand. A black 3-pin connector.
Egg.
I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore.
You did good, Egg. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that.
4 years. 22 people. Millions of reals. All that time? This is what we were up against. Just erased it. Suliswov isn't gonna believe this.
Yeah, but did you record it though?
Yes, Andre. I recorded it. Thank you all for doing this. Eggman?
It was very hard not to. I think you're right. There is something going on here. And you need to be very careful with it.
I promise, officer. We will not play it again. It was mathematical information from the anomaly, presented as a waveform. That's what it was technically. Theoretically, I have no idea.
A voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure.
Yes, our lead designer. And maybe some of the producers too. And some of the writers. If they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear.
That it wasn't her fault. Or theirs.
They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording. Although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway. Stay here. I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters, maybe meet Suliswov. Also devise further measurements.
I want you to know that's totally chill with us.
I don't care, but thank you anyway.
That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot in truth. For her, at least.
Now, I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this. Or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind.
Yes, and we have to get back to stabilizing Martinez.
Some tiny hard thing lets go in your stomach. You're still alive. You have an explanation for all this. Somewhere deep in you, you don't have to. You already have. A long time ago.
What? But Pale isn't here. We're thousands of kilometers from the edge.
That comforts her. She looks up into the darkness under the nave, then back at you.
Then what?
It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing. No.
Then the Pale is... But the gradient, it clearly hasn't started yet. We're here, and the Pale is not. I understand. A theory of the Pale where instead of an outer ocean, it metastasizes. Like a cancer or a mold. Erupting in points inside the world. According to this, how long... And information. Causing data losses in the East Insulindian front. Have you considered why it's formed in a church? And also when or how it might start growing, or if it has other effects in addition to sound and data?
An intellectual hunger fills her now, casting fear aside.
I also have a question, since we are piling them on. How do you know this? I'm not done.
Knows how to think this.
You think the presence of that puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even say software development?
She already made up her mind when she heard it. Some kind of great and uncaring force had to play a part. It wasn't only them.
I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities. But no, the artists like the milieu, the writers like the history. I told them. You mean Plaisance and the Dice Maker? There was almost no one left when we packed up. Then go tell them. Of course! A pine wood sarcophagus, or a containment facility of some kind, built by the first settlers. I have considered the same. The bad news is, there were 7 pinewood churches built in the first decade of provincial settlement. Most of them were burnt down during the revolution, or repurposed before.
Some of them might. A black grain hanging in the air.
An amateur anthropomedic police officer. I'd like to say I've heard stranger things, but I'm not sure. This is a hell of a guess, however. Well worded, I might add.
Yes, it is very interesting.
She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window, cold and moist.
I'm going to leave that out. But the rest, some of this I can use to start to explain this to the rest of the team.
Ma'am, you will certainly...
One more thing. Maybe a club for anodic music isn't the worst thing you can erect around this. I wouldn't go so far.
Yeah!
Thank you, Egghead. Let's...
Oh, hey, man. It's good to see you.
Goodbye, officer.
She's whistling a
Hey there. I've been recording some new audio from all these beams and rafters. The sounds travelling through the wood are pretty cool. Creaks and stuff. Like you're underwater, you know? But like, underwater inside a tree. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to thank you instead for getting me and my friends in here. And we even found some new associates, such as they are. Good, I think. Noid is getting a read on the place. I think he finds the carpentry very impressive. Andre's been setting up the compressor and dancing. Egghead's been keeping the party up. He's got the stage under control. Sorna, the programmer, she's doing whatever she does behind that radio computer of hers. She doesn't talk to us much, and the Crabman hasn't shown himself, thank God. Sure, you helped us out. I can repay the favour. But earlier today, I just tried to stay away from... Who knows? Who do you want to know about? What do you mean? Actually, one time Egg came with... It was deaf. People were...
You can see, wish you'd been there.
Oh, that. Anodic music doesn't really do vocals. Yes, forever. Anyway.
I understand. People are usually afraid to do things. Anyway.
Who do you want to know about? Andre?
He
takes care of nothing. Must have... I've never... I mean, not that he does drugs. Yes. Who do you want to know about? He's he's real hardcore. It's just something... I don't know, man. Have you been... no? Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay. It's just some... I don't know, man. Okay. They do say... Who do you want to know about? Me? Again, I told you. It means I don't answer. Is there a...
That would depend on the circle.
Thank you. Sure.
There's something feral crouched between the rocks. Something primal. Something forbidden. Back away. There, by the water. This is a men's size L, leopard-patterned unitard with short sleeves. There are bits of seaweed stuck to it. It speaks to the animal inside you. Slow and steady, boy. Drop it now. This thing will eat you. Run. There's only one. But don't you want to feel you slip from your briefs into the... Putting on the garment feels like stepping. Your fingers the dried again. Once it's wearing you now.
see you haven't left our little Martinez yet. Aye. But don't let it grow too much. This is not for you. This says by signing, I agree to living with construction noise. What a nice idea. Wouldn't have thought that... Aye, if you say so. Have right. Aye, fine. Here you go. I shouldn't have. Yes, well, I looked at it and thought I should. Because it says youth centre, and I have my own children. I am, of course, just as...
Living with the construction noise is...
Sure, but it's temporary. They're cute and small now, but... Anyway.
Sound logic. Division of labor. Sounds like is... You take the legal document. A lorry, the smell of cigarettes and perfume, welcome a metallic drawer. It's an issue. It looks like these... The pull-out toolkit slides back in and close the... An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods. Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy. Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy during the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola. Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth, Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. He called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fable. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. Not just any nose candy, though. We're talking Royal Philippian Blow, allegedly twice as potent as the stuff you find nowadays. And that's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Insulindian Bay. This is slander. The cocaine, His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms. Beneath the Cold War, a group of marble plural, the original, some years ago, the statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart. Like neither do people in Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze.
Lowman, you caught me, and what is that?
Great. He asked the Pines rep about the bail, and now he's took. Fine then. Just try not to black out again, and don't contemplate. We don't have time. That is exactly what I didn't want you to think. Ma'am, my partner wanted to know if you work in Pale Transport.
No offense, but your partner seems like a bit of an idiot. You are an idiot, and you are keep...
The file cabinet stands hundreds, and the same you already the drawer slide.